Cowboys fans are legit the worst people in the world.
They suck.
Of course,
Eagles fan.
of course, that's how we go live.
No cap. I hate the Cowboys. Hey, look. Y'all know what it is.
Oh,
Y'all know what it is.
I don't see how they lose, man. I really don't.
Dude, they got all their. They're gonna have all their starters. Like,
and Hurts is gonna have another extra week to get that shoulder better.
If we lose because Mahomes like just goes like Superman, I can live with that. I get to see that live. I'm good. Like that's beautiful. I'm with that.
That's the only way it happens.
Oh, hey, Pat's here.
Let me in.
He said, "Let me in."
Whoa. For 6 figure. Yo.
Hey, did you give me that meth you had on last show we were together with, man? Because you had boxes of meth everywhere. We were.
Oh. Yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone.
The space between the trap house. I know that.
That was me, you, and Chris, right? Last time.
Yeah. We've been on a bunch of shows already.
We have, of course.
What you drinking, Charlie?
This is a hard tea. It's like 8%, just chilling.
Yo, we have all right. So
I didn't JL like that.
JL is a cross. You said you're a CrossFit. I said inspect. I'm tired. You do CrossFit.
I do.
And then Charlie's just incredibly in shape. Chris, you've been working out, right?
I've been slacking recently. I need to get back in the gym.
Because of the campaign stuff?
Yeah, I just been I fell off the wagon, but I need to get back on the workout horse.
What are we doing here right now, you know?
This is the healthiest.
Pat's like, y'all shut up.
What are we doing here? You know?
Pat's got some Wingstop. You know, I just had my second Red Bull today.
What the fuck are we doing here?
All right, so
hey, I ain't gonna lie, I had Popeyes for dinner, so whatever.
I have a bag of candy on the other side of the room, so don't feel too bad.
There you go.
See, we were doing good. We were doing good for the first classic Pat. Hey, we got Armin. People were like, "You have a problem with this guy, Armin?" Absolutely. Yo, this is a star-studded. I almost said space, bro. Come on, get together. We have all the homies here. You know what I'm saying? We got the big homie Chris in here, of course. We got Charlie. We got Pat. We got JL. We have so many damn comics. We have so many damn comics to talk about. We're also going to we're going to figure out who the GOAT is, right? Now, real quick, who do you guys think are going to be some dark horse candidates for this? Like, who do you think? I think like Big Boy might be a candidate, Killer Mike.
I'm thinking Nipsey Hussle.
Nipsey Hussle.
I'm just messing, man.
You get some bonus. All right. So what we're judging, what we need to keep in mind, we're looking for longevity. We're looking for body of work. We're looking for peak. We're looking for impact, lyrical ability, hook, songwriting as well. So let's just keep all these things in mind. So I'm thinking we can get started, knock some of this out, and we get to the second round. We can start talking campaigns once the people get in.
Yeah,
sounds good.
All right, let's do it. Okay. All right. Let me reset this. I've been looking forward to this show for quite some time.
Armin, what is he dropping? What is that comment? What is that?
Y'all
Kelly's rap devil.
Bro, I try not to acknowledge him when I can. I'm paying attention to Armin. All right, cool. So I'm about to set it up.
Armin actually ghosted me this weekend. We were supposed to hang out, and he didn't even hit me back.
Right.
Wow.
Armin's fake.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Them Long Island boys. I don't know, bro. They kind of shifty.
I think you gotta move out here, man. This is where it's at.
To LI.
I think so.
Oh, wait, Pat, aren't you in you're
That's
out on
what
the island though?
I'm out where?
Aren't you out in Suffolk?
Yeah, where are you?
Where I'm in Nassau. I'm literally right around the corner from fucking Armin.
What the hell's going on?
I mean, I have I have stomping grounds in Nassau. I grew up in Freeport. I've lived in Dix Hills, North Babylon, and now somewhere else.
In a secret location.
Yeah, somewhere else,
All right, in the Shan Cave.
All right.
Yeah,
that's right.
All right, fellas. So, like I said, just go. If you don't have a big opinion, just say left or right.
I mean, is this even
right.
a conversation?
I was gonna say the same thing.
Yeah, this is not a conversation. I don't think.
Nope. Yeah,
So 3 rights and we're going. Right?
Yeah, that's ludicrous. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I mean,
That's
no
3 out of
disrespect, you know, like she.
Oh,
I mean,
this is left. This is easy.
Yeah.
left.
Easy
Yeah.
2 chains. Easy 2 chains.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see LaGreen.
Wait, how many tiers do we have?
This is
there's a lot.
I think this is left. I think this is left.
All right, this is the first one that's a little difficult because, like, you have, like, the respect levels. But I mean, it's killer.
I'll defer. Yeah, Cameron. I'm fine.
I think Cameron wins based off.
Cam made a whole exactly influence alone.
Mm-hmm.
Whole generation started wearing pink because of Cameron.
100%.
I'm gonna say.
The fact that we can look at these like grayscale pictures and know what he looks like, you know. I mean,
I'm gonna
say
honestly.
Wait, Will Smith, the actor?
I'm saying right, man.
Right?
That's
crazy.
Right.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Right. I'm saying right.
It's gotta be Tyler.
That's 4 to 1.
I'm not standing for that. That's blasphemy.
I'm gonna say left.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say left.
Yeah, it's left.
Yeah, that's left.
I mean, why are we all agreeing the whole time so far? You know, this is
I tried.
I
tried.
See, I think comma's underrated still, but
I think that's right.
I got Missy. I think
we left. I think we left.
I got Missy.
So I'm a tiebreaker here. I'm the tiebreaker here, and I'm gonna go left for peak and influence.
Yeah, exactly. That's what comes down.
I get you.
I can respect that.
Influence for sure. Yeah.
I'm also the old man of the group, so I get to confess my age. Oh dang.
Left.
I'm gonna go
Fox. I don't know what the hell this is.
Left.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I only know Millie Mel from bars about Millie Mel.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go left.
I'm going left.
It's Foxy for sure.
Ooh.
I mean, that's not fair. That's not fair.
I know. I'm going right, but that's not fair.
If we can bring
can I make the
voice back at a later date?
Can I make the argument? Can I make the argument for Royce over Notorious B.I.G.?
Yeah.
It's your stream, so yeah, I guess.
I mean, you can mute us all and just say whatever you want.
I think look, Royce wins due to unfortunate circumstances. He wins the longevity argument.
That's messed up.
Damn.
No, but literally he wins the longevity. He's been really good for 20 years. He's an excellent lyricist. Yep. You know, he's done it with, like, he did the Eminem thing, he did it with Slaughterhouse. He's survived multiple eras. But I still gotta go big. I want to show him some love.
Yeah, unfortunately,
can we like swap somebody else? Another?
I know. Like, can we give Royce bring
him back
a free pass? You know,
out, bro.
Yeah, get Foxy out of here. Put Royce back in there.
Yeah, like
I can dig that. Yeah,
that's not how it works. Q-Tip, I don't know the fuck. I'm going.
Hey, Q-Tip didn't do anything by himself. Let's be honest. I mean, outside of Tribe, right? What did he do?
He's dropped a couple, and he's dropped a couple of albums, and he's done some features as well.
Has okay.
Producer. I don't know who the fuck Billy Danes is. So
I don't know who Billy Danes is.
I gotta go left.
Yeah, so give me left then, because I love Q-Tip's voice, but
Busy Bone, I'm going to sleep.
Busy Bone. I'm going to
sleep. I mean, it's like yeah, Busy Bone he's hilariously a crazy person, you know, but it's Slick Rick though.
It's Slick Rick, yeah.
Most def. I mean, that's
left.
Left. Wait.
Go ahead.
Nah, there's no way.
There's no most def.
Influence. You got influence.
There's absolutely no way. If you're talking about longevity, it's influence. There's absolutely no way. There's no one.
I don't know that you could argue longevity, but
I would disagree. I would disagree about the influence. I think Mos Def has been, you know, like a really good rapper for like 10 plus years. I think he's got really good albums. I think he's a good feature artist. I think he can sing, so I think he's got really good hook writing. He's got a lot of versatility. He has a lyricism as well. And he's done it alone, and he has I forgot the band he's with Talib Kweli. I mean, to me, Mos Def is an underrated candidate. You know, like he wouldn't be my first choice, but I think he's in the conversation for GOAT for sure.
I think to Pat's point, the only thing about Nicki for me, again, I'm a little older, but is Nicki's influence is unmistakable, right? On today's pop culture in general, just not even rap, but like everything.
But exactly.
But is that I'm almost deaf. I'm just saying. I agree.
Streaming,
yeah.
If we're still in the days of albums, does Nicki Minaj sell nearly as much as even someone like Mos Def? I don't think so.
No, probably not.
Mos Def wasn't a best-selling artist like
and
that.
I also think that a lot of her influence is like, you know how the moon like reflects the sun? It's really just Lil' Kim. Like it's really just the Lil' Kim influence.
Man. I mean, Nicki, I think it's inarguable. She's the biggest female rapper of all time. That's inarguable.
I would definitely argue that. I would damn near. I would argue Missy. I would argue Queen Latifah. You give Meg a couple.
Bigger than Nicki? Nah.
But she's not. She doesn't have the lyrics. The only thing she has is like what influence. That's all she has. Like
Missy was
a really good rapper.
We're having a GOAT conversation, so we're obviously gonna have to compare.
Yeah, we're spending too much time on Nicki Minaj and most.
We're gonna have to compare across eras. I really don't think if you put Nicki in the '90s with Foxy, Lil' Kim, that she breaks through that. I really don't, because she is just like Stokes said. She is them. She who's her competition right now? Who else is rapping like Nicki is right now?
We just lost Antonito.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this is kind of doing Nicki dirty. She is far better than Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim. There's not even a.
I said the influence from she is like a carbon copy of Lil' Kim, right? And then
exactly.
for me, like Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B are significantly better rappers than Nicki Minaj. So
we
can't spend too much time on Mos Def and Nicki Minaj. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
this is just a tough draw for Nicki, honestly.
All right. I will say that to me, Mos Def is like a 4 out of 10, and Nicki's like an 8. I think there's 4? No comparison.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're overruled.
That's
sorry.
Crazy.
Mos Def.
That's crazy.
Damn.
We're never gonna get through his list because this is brutal.
No, this is Jadakiss. Killer Mike. Listen, Killer Mike is a genius. He's smart and he's very fucking corny. It's Jadakiss.
Yep. No, I'm with Pat on this one. Jadakiss, all right. I mean, I like him. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He belongs on this list, but I think up against Killer Mike, I'm going KM all day.
Wait, no, I was saying the opposite. I said that Killer Mike is a genius, but he's corny. I don't want to listen to his music, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I think Run the Jewels is dope. I think all their projects are on point, well produced, start to finish. You can listen to them through. Jadakiss has definitely had bigger hits. I think this is, again, like, we're eventually going to have to get into this. This is a rapper from Atlanta versus a rapper from New York. And I think when you start talking about influence and selling records, again, like, is that because of where Jadakiss came from, him riding the coattails of, Biggie and Puff and all that and coming out? Like, I don't know. Like, I think if we're really going to sit here and break down bar for bar, project for project, song 1 to song, X on the album, I think we got to go Killer Mike. I really do.
Here's what I would say. I think these guys are pretty much evenly split. I think Jadakiss was like popping more in the early 2000s. Killer Mike was around, and now I would say that Jadakiss is around and Killer Mike is popping. They both have.
I think that's a great point.
They have the solo acts. They have the solo albums. They also have the joint albums as well with the Run the Jewels and the Locks. I think I talked about this. The tiebreaker to me for Jadakiss is the Dipset moment. That is a defining moment in hip hop. That is defining moment.
Verses?
Yeah, that was a defining moment in New York rap, and that, to me, that's a tiebreaker if it's even close. Like, that's like I don't know. Well, we're gonna be talking about that for years. You know what I'm saying? And he basically soloed Dipset, and we already know that Cameron made it to the next round. Like, some of these guys are gonna make it to the next round. So I'm gonna go
I'm not
Jadakiss.
mad. I'm not mad either way. I just
No,
I want to on the record throw my hat in for Killer Mike. I'm not mad either way.
All right, so we're gonna go top to bottom. So I'm gonna say right. What do you say, Charlie?
No, I'm
Right
fine either way because honestly, I mean, this is where I started getting out of rap a little bit and not as heavy. So I personally, if you just pin me down, I'm gonna go Killer Mike. But again, that's just
it's a draw.
Who I know, right?
What you say, Chris?
I'm going Jada. Let's go right.
I'm going left, but
Pat, you're the tiebreaker, man. Who's going on?
I'll say this. I'm also okay either because, both have great strong suits. Everyone made a great argument here. Killer Mike is definitely bigger now and has probably been relevant for a longer time. He's corny, though. Jadakiss had his peak. However, Jadakiss has only ever had one flow on every song. And that's crazy.
While you're going, Pat, can you tell me what you mean when you say Killer Mike is corny? Because I have a feeling this is going to come up as we get further down.
Can we bring that back up? Because which way you
go? Next time you think someone's corny, let us know what you mean, Pat.
100%. Jadakiss.
Oh, okay. So Killer Mike's gone. What do you mean? How do you say he's corny?
Well, all right. I'll say this. I think that with rap, there is an aspirational quality for the artist that I love. And Big Mike is never someone who I look at and who I'm like, man, I want to be him. I want to embody the bar he just spit. It feels a bit nerdy to me. It feels like his topics of choice and how he presents himself. It feels like a bit like pseudo-intellectual. Whereas like Talib Kweli doesn't. When he talks about serious topics, I feel like it hits better. Killer Mike feels like he's always on the Joe Rogan podcast when he's rapping.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you. Jadakiss. So Jadakiss moves on, which I agree with. Quavo or Lupe Fiasco, I'm not gonna lie. This is Lupe, right? Right?
Lupe.
Yeah, it's Lupe.
Yeah, I feel bad for Quavo right now, but it's Lupe for sure. Yeah.
No, he's not that. Mama.
Pimp C.
I'm gonna go Pimp C.
I mean, I'm gonna go Pimp C, but I'm from Jersey, so I feel some kind of way right now.
Sorry, Treach. I'm gonna go ASAP Rocky.
Oh man, what didn't Rage only have? I mean, look, forgive my ignorance. Didn't she only have like 2 hits?
Yeah, I feel like she had some good features in the
Chronic from that state. Don't get me wrong, but like she only had
Yeah, it's ASAP for sure. I feel like ASAP is underrated.
I agree
with that too, actually.
DMC. Okay, this is Future, right?
Bro, I don't even like Future, but it's so obviously Future.
Yeah.
If you say influence in body of work, Future,
I hate this because Stokes, because DMC was up against. Who was he up against when we were going through it? I forgot.
Tough list.
It was tough, man. This is hard. This is clearly Future.
Plug up some commas. I don't like how they do this. It makes you do one bracket. So I guess we'll do this bracket, promo, do the other bracket.
All right.
Man. Oh, boy.
This is ludicrous.
Look, I'm going to go ludicrous. I'm going left just because, like, again, I'm old, so I'm going ludicrous. I like 2 Chainz.
Let me solo real quick. Whatever 2 Chainz offers as a rapper, Ludacris does. He has like that colorful metaphors and personality, but he's just also just a better rapper and had a higher peak in my opinion.
That's where I'm at.
He had a higher peak for sure. I'll say this. As of right now, if new Ludacris comes out and new 2 Chainz comes out, I'll listen to 2 Chainz 12 times before new Ludacris. However, the metrics, it has to be Ludacris. I feel sad about it though.
I'm with you. It's a tough matchup for 2 Chainz in this time, in my opinion. But
at one point in time, Ludacris was one of the most respected rappers, coast to coast, and doing that from the South is huge. So
you also consider who he was coming. He was coming up with like T.I., Kanye West, Lil Wayne, peak 50 Cent.
And he was up there.
Yeah, exactly.
He was up there. Yeah. He gets the peak for sure. He definitely gets peak.
Chris?
I mean, I wanna say 2 Chainz, but it's Luda for sure. On this one though, this one's Tyler for me.
I'm so sad Cameron doesn't make it because I feel like Cameron is underrated. Like if you look at the like Little Beat, like he just has so much influence. he's like the first of like ironic rappers where you were like, I don't know if this dude is serious or not. Like he invented like ironic rap, and he would also he would rhyme the same word. He's like, kill it, Cam again, kill it, Cam again. Sing it 3 times, what you get? Kill it, Cam again.
Yeah, I mean, I'm throwing my hat in the Cameron ring here, but I know I'm gonna probably get outvoted, but that's okay. And I'm gonna be fair, like I don't really listen to Tyler the Creator all that much, and so like for me, that's what some of this is coming down to. Like I have the opportunity to, and I'm just not interested. Kind of like Pat's point about Killer Mike. Like I'm not even taking a shot. Cam was when I was coming up. It was Cam and the whole Dipset, and that comes on now. It just hits different for me.
I mean, JL just spoke for me, frankly. I mean, that's where I'm at too. Is just it's more familiarity than anything else for me.
Wow, can Cameron beat Tyler? Okay,
has to. I mean, I remember bars. I remember bars that people said just doing impressions of Cam. There was a kid in my school who said, patty cake. I'm making patty cakes. I take some buttermilk syrup and put them on my patty cakes.
Exactly. You just know. You know that,
what?
Like you know that's Cam. You know that's an impersonation.
You know what? I think Tyler wins in body of work, songwriting ability as well. I think he gets that as well. But yeah, I think as far as influence. Yeah, I think he clears just because of influence. I'm with you guys. It's a tough one. Like,
it's tough.
It's gonna get worse.
Cameron, right?
Yeah, and again, this thing is gonna get worse. Yeah,
nothing would make me happier.
Nope.
Nothing would make me happier than like Cameron winning this. Believe me, like nothing would make me more ecstatic.
Can Cameron win this? I don't know.
He's got a lot of people when it comes to influence and peak. He's got a lot of people.
The other side of this bracket, because I was going through it also. The other side of the bracket is kind of a bloodbath. Like
yeah, it has
because all like it's kind of crazy.
No Hov, no Pac. You got no Cole, no Kendrick,
no Nas, no Kendrick.
Oh yeah, there's no Nas, there's no Rakim, there's no KRS-One, there's no.
Hey, don't spoil it, bro. Relax, Cameron. The quality Missy Elliott. Ooh, I might have to go Missy here with Peak. Yeah. Influence. Everybody good?
Yeah.
Let me say, bro, I'm glad y'all are here because we wanted a diversity, like we're all different age groups. And I was like, I didn't want to have to like argue for fucking Cool Mo D over like Kendrick Lamar. I'm so glad.
Did you just say you admitted to picking me because I'm old? Is that what you just said? I mean, like, goddamn.
No, it's that there are 18,000 projects on Kickstarter. Everybody asked, so we had to find a way to get everybody up here. I'm gonna say Missy. This is Cameron and Missy making it makes me very happy. That makes me. I mean, this is.
I mean, don't even ask anybody. Yeah.
It was all the dream. That's.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I gotta go Slick Rick. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta go Slick Rick.
Easy.
Michael. Oh wait. This is easy, right?
I like Q-Tip, but again, only like Tribe. I mean, that was my big thing. So Slick Rick for overall discography, for longevity, for influence. I mean, you can't ignore Slick Rick's influence.
I mean, and one thing. Oh, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, like, I wonder how MC Hammer would do on this because if you think about it, MC Hammer, major influence, pretty good peak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think.
But ironically, he influenced pop more than rap, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So that's this comment that you threw up on the screen. That's actually what I was going to bring up. Like, I feel like with a lot of this side of the bracket, it's coming down to influence because you got Biggie. Forgive me if I'm going to forget anybody when I make this last comment, but it feels like there aren't a lot of lyricists on this side of the bracket. And so we're leaning heavy into influence, heavy into record sales, heavy into peak.
Yep.
Like, I mean, Pat, would you, other than Big, would you say Nicki is the best lyricist on this side of the bracket?
What the fuck?
Oh, I'm asking Pat.
No.
I don't think Pat said Nicki was an 8 out of 10.
Cameron is a better lyricist than.
I gotta know who I'm dealing with.
No.
That's hysterical.
Biggie can
If
spell
you
better
just put it
16
down
Nicki
to lyricism, period.
right now.
All right. So that was a purely Nicki versus whoever she beat conversation.
And I think what it's come down to is we got what 5 or 6 categories: technicality, lyricism, longevity, influence. You got a lot of when you have a lot of options like that. If we're not talking about straight up lyricist, you're going to end up with some of this conversation around influence being a big thing, because that is a big factor. Think about it.
It's not who's the best rapper. If this was who the best rapper, Pharoah Monch might get past the first round. It won't be getting past on this. I never heard of Pharoah Monch song.
I like Pharoah. Don't get me.
We're just.
Yeah.
Also, let me clarify. Let me clarify my 8 out of 10. To me, that doesn't put you even in the top 15, 20. To me, the top 10 should all be 10 out of 10s, no matter what.
100%.
So, for comparison's sake, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's keep it 100%, fellas. Slick Rick. Oh yeah, did y'all? Yeah, make sure to promote. Ooh,
Most
definitely fucking us up.
This is a hard one, bro. This is a hard one, man. Because I really enjoy Most Def, and it's the same argument. I forgot who he went against the last time, but it's kind of the same argument.
It was Killer Mike.
All right,
it was Killer Mike. It's the same argument.
And Most Def, and then Killer Mike and Jadakiss. But it's pretty much.
I can't name my top 5 favorite Most Def moment. I'm still going. God, this is hard. So, this might be a coin flip, yo.
Here's my argument for Most Def. We pushed him past Nicki, correct?
Yeah.
This is gonna again. I'm just we're here now. I'm not making any claims, but does Jadakiss have more hits than Nicki Minaj?
No, absolutely not.
So how then do we push Jadakiss past Most Def? What are we gonna say? Because we got to be clear if we give this to Jadakiss.
Hey,
otherwise we're gonna start.
It's definitely Most. Most has got actual goat potential. He's at least top 5.
What makes you
logic? I mean, he just broke it down for us real hard, real quick.
What I would say about
what JL just made.
Go ahead, Pat.
This pair. All right, so there is no Most Def song that would get me as hyped as the best Jadakiss song, or probably. However, I would listen to Most Def for a longer time than Jadakiss, because Jadakiss has one flow. Period.
I think
to me, if you heard one Jadakiss song, you probably heard them all. Even though some of them are great. Between this comparison, Most Def for me.
I think Most Def just has more versatility. I think it's probably a similar body work, if we're being honest as well. It's a hard one, but I'm going Most Def. Like if I had to pick, I think he fulfills. If we go across, I think he has the best argument. We're talking about influence, flow, songwriting, all that stuff. So I'm gonna go Most Def.
Yeah, I think I'm Most Def. I think JL and Pat there too. Chris, what you got, man?
Yeah, we're definitely going left.
I'll also say
Most Def going left.
Jadakiss is not, when we get into the lyrics bracket, he's not beating some of these other lyricists but Most Def, as far as conscious rapper, I feel is one of the better ones. So we'll go Most Def. Lupe Fiasco, Pimp C, yo. I'm gonna go Pimp C. I'm not gonna lie to you. If influence is a big part of this.
This is why I was saying we got to start getting clear on, just for ourselves, why we're moving. Because, you talk about unfortunate circumstances for longevity, right? So, you're gonna push that. Lupe just put out a few projects, in the last few years. I appreciated them all from the projects. What I was just gonna say is I appreciated them from start to finish in terms of just throwing them on and rocking out to them. This is another one of those where it's gonna just be if I'm opening up Spotify, I don't think I've ever typed Pimp C in my Spotify.
Lupe Fiasco. Lupe Fiasco is empty.
Yeah, so
Lupe Fiasco is empty calories. It's he's saying stuff, you listen to it, but it doesn't leave much of an impact for me. I can go either way.
This is one of those where I put my hat there, but I'm not making a crazy argument.
I'm gonna go Lupe for the solo, because he has 2 great albums. He has 2 albums I would consider damn near classics. So I'm gonna go Lupe. I couldn't tell you one Pimp C album. I don't even know if he has an album.
Where are you going with it, Pat? What's your vote?
It's rough. Both have great qualities and some less than great qualities. Lupe, larger body of work, probably a more nuanced body of work. better. I wouldn't say better lyricist. He's a better way with words. He bends words in a clever way. I don't think that there's much depth to him when you get beyond how he's, showing off himself as a wordsmith, which is why I think that he has trouble getting into the go conversation that he has, so cringingly pushed himself into. And yet I still say Lupe.
All right, so that's 2 for Lupe, right?
Because Pimp C has he's cool, like that's a great quality, but Lupe is far more nuanced as an artist for sure.
I feel like again, comparing Pimp C to Cameron, it's not even close. So I'm just keeping it consistent. All right, so I'm gonna go Lupe. Anybody got a problem with that?
No.
Yeah, because I was gonna abstain anyway. Because on this one, y'all got me. I mean, I haven't listened to either one of them.
Ooh, this one's hard. This one's hard. I'm going Future, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Future stan. I'm going Future because it's almost like the same argument I previously. Future is just ASAP Rocky, but more consistent, more influence. I would say similar, more dynamic, and just peak. I think his peak is better than ASAP Rocky's. I think ASAP Rocky has always been a name, but Future, you could argue, has been the hottest rapper a lot of years, if not the best rapper some years.
I wouldn't say the best rapper at all. I do think that anyone could do what he does. However, no one is. There you go. I dramatically prefer ASAP, but when it comes to impact, body of work, influence, it's Future by far. I think that Future's use of melody has had a tremendous and positive impact on modern artists overall. Yep. I prefer what they're doing to what he's doing. However, prefer ASAP, gotta go Future.
So, Pat, who would you say lyricist between the two?
What?
Best lyricist between the two?
ASAP without.
That's what I was reading from it. I just want to make sure that's what I was understanding. Yeah,
I feel like ASAP has more struggle bars, to be honest, but just overall, I would say. But that's just one. So we're going Future, right?
Yeah, I think there's an argument that ASAP isn't even the best member of ASAP.
Wow.
If Playboy Cardi's in ASAP, he's an ASAP mob. I would say Ferg and Cardi are better than him.
It's getting hard.
You know what? Because what would Cameron's best argument would be influence and personality, but Ludacris has it
as both.
It's just
spit, dude. I mean, for real, and it's I'm on Ludacris right here, so I'm left.
Yeah, it's left.
I'm left.
Left.
Yeah, again, I prefer Cam, but it's Luda. Yeah.
All right,
you're right.
Yeah, come on.
I'm glad we're not spending too much time with it. Not gonna lie.
Oh, that's interesting. This is interesting right here. Now you're talking about 2 different eras.
I feel
which is going to become real important, I guess. In a few minutes here, the era conversation. So we might as well. I think this is an easier way for us to have this conversation. Stokes, I know that you have had some back and forths that I've been on the sidelines for when you're talking about the difference between old school versus, more contemporary hip hop. What do you think when you look at this?
I think Slick Rick has kind of got here because he's had an easy path. He did Q-Tip and Busy Bone. He's kind of fraud at this point. Slick, I just think Mos Def does what Slick Rick does. Maybe he's a storyteller. He's a good hook writer. You know what I'm saying? He's got a really good body of work. I just feel like Mos Def is damn near a early 2000s Slick Rick in a lot of ways.
That's what I was saying. It comes down to era now. So what do we? Where do you fall? Right? You look at. Do we? So the question you kind of brought it up earlier. The question we have here in this exact argument is, do we even have a Mos Def if there's no Slick Rick?
That's fair. If
the defining quality there that you're trying to get at is a storyteller, we do, right? Because that's what hip hop is at its core, storytelling. Yep. So if that's what you mean when you ask that, then yeah, of course. If you mean something else, I'll let you clarify that. But if that's the argument, then I'm going to go Mos Def.
Yeah, I was just going back to what Stokes we were talking about. We were talking about Nicki, right? So we had the argument about Nicki, and that was a big argument about era and who came first, right? So the question was, do we even have a Nicki if we don't have these previous rappers? So that argument applies here just as simply, right? And so that was really what I was getting at. So I'm not actually making an argument for anybody. I'm just asking the question in reverse.
The difference there is that Nicki wasn't going head to head with Lil Kim, right?
Sure.
So that was the
That's true. That's true. Yep.
So for me, that's why I think, given that, I still think I'd give it to Mos Def.
Okay. I listened to both Slick Rick and Mos Def growing up. I truthfully did, and I have no doubt in my mind. I have no doubt in my mind that Mos Def is the more talented rapper. I'm always going to lean towards. Okay, I'm always going to lean towards like this person had the benefit of listening to that person, so they had like Mos Def is a more technically proficient rapper. He's the better singer. He's the better feature artist. I think it's Mos Def, for sure. I don't think anybody would say Slick Rick is the GOAT. Like I don't think anybody would think that.
Look, and somebody who grew up when Slick Rick first came out, I'll tell you what was appealing to Slick Rick. It was a lot of actually what kind of Pat was talking about being corny earlier is. Although back then we aspired to be like Slick Rick because he was funny. He had a hook. Like there was something catchy about the way he flowed. He almost felt like in certain songs he felt like he was freestyling, but he'd throw in some of the craziest, corniest rhymes just because it had to rhyme. And so I feel like Slick Rick was a product of his time more than anything else. And I do agree, technically, Mos Def is a better rapper. And I think he's a better storyteller, but I think Slick Rick kind of set the stage a little bit too. So that's the whole reason I even asked the question.
All right, so we got to move on. I'm voting right. So we just go down the line.
Right.
I'll go right.
All right, cool. Sorry, Slick. Oh, we did all that just to I'm with it. I love
but
it.
I think we need to do that though. Even though I think we knew we were going to go Mos Def. I think we got to get clear on why we're doing it. Because again, this is gonna get tough.
Yeah. For me on this one, it's just gonna be Future, just for familiarity more than anything else. So I in a sense, I kind of abstain. But
I feel like Future had Lupe's peak, and then I think he had like double the influence, more good albums. I don't know how many rappers you could look at and be like, that's a Lupe clone, but you can do that. You can do that with Future, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going. Everybody go Future.
Future.
Yeah.
Yo, the hip hop heads gonna be mad at this one. Like,
oh shit.
I mean, I still don't think it really warrants discussion, but I do feel bad for Ludacris.
Me too.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is though with Ludacris is that Ludacris got really bad. Like Ludacris became a bad rapper. He started doing really bad music. If Ludacris had kind of even if he plateaued, he would have a much better argument. But
absolutely, the worst problem he ever had was trying to keep relevant, and that was the biggest problem any artist can make. You sometimes just gotta die. You gotta fall off a cliff. You can't just kind of fizzle out because you fizzle out. People remember the shit at the end. They don't remember the shit in the beginning.
Yeah, it's true. Some artists are not as good as others, which we'll probably see in this next slate at existing in different eras. Ludacris in his era. To me, inarguably one of the best, but no one is listening to Ludacris music now when there are artists who were at their peak while he was at his peak who you're still listening to now.
That's a great argument. I'm thinking Biggie might come out the left side.
I'm pretty sure
he might.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it. Like I would be happy. Future, Mos Def. I'm going Future.
Yeah.
Yo, if Future represents the left side, this is gonna be a really boring finale. I'm going Future because again, if we're just comparing what they're both good at, like singing, you know what I'm saying? Like they're both good songwriters. We got the influence Future wins, peak Future wins. If we're talking about what's that word I use that means you've been around for a long time? Like
longevity.
If longevity is relative, Future has his peak and his longevity have been the same. Like it's the last 11 years of him being one of the hottest rappers, making good projects, being on features, doing multiple genres of music as well, in a manner of speaking, like doing R&B, doing trap music, doing pop rap and stuff like that. I think it's Future.
It's tough giving it a Future because most have been doing it for like 3 decades.
But like I said, it's relative though, right? Like he's definitely been around, but like to me it's relative. Like since Future dropped, he's been hot, and then Mos Def has been like in and out. You know, it's like Jay-Z. When people bring up longevity with Jay-Z, for me, it's like he retired. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean he doesn't have longevity, but you got to take that into context. That like,
I mean, he retired for like 9 months though.
And so, but this is and yeah, to that it wasn't. That was like a Tom Brady retirement. That's
well, let's real quick. Let's say theoretically he retired for 3 years. Like you do have to take that. If you're arguing against another GOAT candidate, you do have to bring that into the conversation. I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. I don't disagree with that in theory. I think when it comes to these two, this is another one of those for me where I just, for preference and my taste, I'm gonna put my hat in the Most Def ring. I understand Future's relevance, but again, it goes back to this is an important, I think, era thing, late 90s, early 2000s versus we'll call it 2010s. Like, I mean, a lot of people have been hot post 2010. I don't know that is like, I don't know that has the same cachet as being relevant in the era that Most Def was relevant in. And right now, it might be enough to push Future through, but I do think that is going to come up again for us. I think we should take that into consideration.
Well, that's a good argument.
For sure. I'm gonna go Future. What you rocking? We'll go down the line, Charlie. You left or right?
I'll go Most Def.
What you saying, Chris?
Left.
Really? Okay. What you? Jo, you going left, right?
I'm going left.
Wow, the king. The king is not. Yo, this. I did the random generated.
All right.
I mean, let's wrap it up. You know.
Yeah. And then come clean it up.
You were saying we
saying
left?
Yeah.
Are we going to say anything about Big before?
Right.
What do we need to say?
I think he has the influence. I think he has the technical ability, was well above his time. I think he has the body. Now here, okay, we have to kind of project forward some because the body work is not there, for being honest. Like, I think he only made 2 albums. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we kind of have to project forward a little bit. And I think that's gonna hurt. Unfortunately, that's gonna hurt Biggie and Pac. In my, like, you know, whoever passes young, I think that's gonna hurt him. But right now, I would say, I think it's obviously Biggie.
I think it is too. The one thing about Big that does kind of add to his body of work is that, sort of like The Chronic was also Snoop's, even though it was Dre's album. Puff Daddy and the Family was also kind of Big's album too. You know, like he had a heavy presence. I say Big for sure. Adding to what you said, he also he's unique in that he got away with some of the most nasty bars of all time. You know, like he has like some absolutely egregious bars. And we all just like listen, like yeah, it's Big.
Y'all was listening, y'all 80s heads. I wasn't listening to that shit. I wasn't listening to that shit. I was listening to Cameron. Yeah, I think this is Biggie, you know, and as far as being iconic, man, the fact that this man, like, you can listen to that music right now and it's still, he feels ahead of his time, and, you know, we'll go Big.
And one more thing too that we haven't talked about with any rapper so far is voice as much as you can't really control it unless you're Action Bronson doing a Ghostface impression. You know, it's natural. It's part of the person, part of their persona. It is that magic little extra feature that is just, it's unique.
By the way, it's like you were listening, Pat, because we were backstage, just me and Stokes. And one of the things I said, I was actually talking about Kendrick and I was talking about early Eminem. I couldn't stand either one of them because I hate their voices. But they can both spit. Yeah. Dude, they can both spit all day and they can tell stories, and they like arrangements are phenomenal. Like, these guys, they know their shit, but I hate both of their voices.
Yeah, it's funny. When Kendrick first came out, I was like, who the fuck is doing a Wayne impression? But then he's become so distant from that to me that I don't think about it anymore.
No, but early, I hated his early shit. And I hated early Eminem too, frankly.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to look at some campaigns. We'll start here. And also, I agree with you. Voices, it's obviously subjective.
That's a big factor, yeah. I'm glad you brought it up, Pat, because that was a key point. I thought Stokes like almost had a heart attack when I said I don't like Kendrick's voice.
No. Well, you listen, like, look. It's all. I mean, it's subjective. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at somebody.
Yeah.
We got Control Z. Chris, you want to talk about this?
Control Z. Hell yeah, I want to talk about this. So this is my book. that everybody, yeah. I'm talking. I got a conversation on the side. Sorry if I'm not super engaged, but Control Z numbers 1 and 2. This is just the gas. This is just, I mean, top shelf. This is, what else do you need me to say about it? It's the Matrix meets Ready Player One. It's just dope, and we're almost at we're getting close to that 5 fig. We're getting real close. 7 days left. 260 backers. Hopefully we could get past 300. 350 would be sick. Can we get another 90 people in 7 days?
Taken from the Charlie Stickney approach, I see.
Well, what? Yo, hey, what are you trying to say?
I'm just saying,
what are you trying to say?
Listen,
it's closed, bro. Come on.
I've seen closed women in Charlie Stickney books.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely, if you're comparing this to Charlie Stickney, this is definitely the White Ash. We haven't gotten to the Galarian yet, but in due time.
I'll tell you, this book looks so dope, and I've read stuff that Chris has put out before, and I'm telling you what, man. And that's the best part right there.
We got it.
When he says it's done, it's done. Like, that junk is in hand.
It's right here. I actually think JL might have a copy.
I already have it. Yeah.
Because
I was feeling like left behind.
Well, we were both at Brooklyn Comic Con last year, and that's when I printed out like 100 copies, and just sold them there. Sold them there early. So, yeah, we got a bunch of awesome, variant covers. This one's done by Francesco Mazzoli, the artist for the Saturn Effect Alpha, and that's the next project that we're doing right afterwards. The Saturn Effect Alpha number 5. That's coming back. The first issue of Volume 2. And this volume is just like next level, but we'll get to that in due time. A bunch of Kickstarter exclusives, prints, just a bunch of shit, dude. We got a bunch of cool shit for people to grab.
What cover would you recommend the most?
I would say, my favorite cover is the Not Safe for Work Ribaldo cover. That was originally the only variant that we were going to have before we added more. I just think this is I love Ribaldo's stuff. He's like a 20-something-year-old Italian kid, and he's just a fucking monster, and he's gonna be huge. Give it like 5 years, and everyone's gonna know his name. So if you can, he's already busy. He's already so busy. So this is my favorite cover, but I also love Tina Valentino's cover, which is also a Kickstarter exclusive. Francesco Mazzoli did an amazing cover. He's the man. Everything he does is like sick. And then his protege, Andrea Scalmazzi, did the last Control Z cover, the gold one, and that one's sick also. But at the end of the day, the original covers are pretty badass as well. So it's Control Z. We got 7 days, baby.
Yeah, you can't go wrong on this one.
Absolutely not. Oh shit. Well, I guess that's over with. Let me pull up my shit right here. Intrusive Thoughts. It's gas.
Hey, fund this book, man. This book is good. I got to see it. I got to read it. What? I got a Hampton, wasn't it? Stokes.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I think so. Either Hampton or Baltimore, but probably Hampton.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what. I went home and I read it that night, or a hotel and read it that night. And look, I love it. This is my favorite Stokes work to date, and I've liked your stuff so far. Decay and everything. So I seriously, and I think I told you this publicly. Like, I think this is. I don't think it's peak. I think you're peaking. I think this is like you're on the rise on this one, because this shit was good, man. It's deep. It's introspective. It's really, really good. And I think even on a second reading, it's one of those books where you go, damn, I missed that. Not that you missed dialogue, but there's a deeper layer there. So I think it's really, really good. And if y'all aren't backing this shit, you're doing something wrong, because it's really good. So sorry, I'm supposed to be pitching my shit, but I'm pitching yours. But I'm telling you,
use up your time too. That's crazy. No, my favorite cover is personally the 20. Oh yeah, I got it. I got my.
That's what I got. Yeah,
the 24x4. Fucking gas.
I backed for that one because I think that one is just perfect.
Thank you, because I think it's a great one. Yeah, check it out, man. It's gas. Y'all know. All right.
Just in time.
All right.
Yeah, good walk back.
I'm putting 60 seconds on the clock.
Cerulean Dreams. Celebrating 7 years on Kickstarter. Short, full color stories from 3 IPs: Destiny New York, Smoke Weed See the Future, Afterglow. 3 of my biggest universes. Covers by some of comics' best, most talented artists. Metal cover. Thank you for backing the Ivan Tao. Get it now.
I keep doxing myself. I'm trying to figure out a way to like dip out of here. No, I mean, you know what, Pat? Because I usually my thing is usually I'll like if I'm supporting the homies, I'll do like 1 series, and I keep backing your fucking campaigns because the covers are so good.
Yes.
At a physical level, yeah, no, and then this is one of the best covers I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know what the fuck this is from Destiny New York.
Yes, that is Logan in the Blue Realm. Yeah, I'll tell you that. Ivan did 2 covers recently, and that one wasn't even commissioned. He did his layouts, his sketch thumbnails for covers are so complete that he did what I said to do on Destiny New York Volume 6, and then he had a second idea, which was that cover. So I said, "Oh fuck, you gotta do it too, though, you know." So draw that full cover too, and we'll put it on this.
Nah, these covers are fucking crazy. I love the idea of it.
Virgin cover is so hot.
I love just the way that you kind of run your shit and how you like. It's all about the IPs, but you know it's also done really well. You know, this is genius. You know what you're doing. You really know what you're doing at the space between. Apparently, I'm part of the space between family. So
part of the team, man. Yeah,
I'm putting money back in the family.
Let's do it.
My little 25.
Appreciate
my little $25. All right, so I'll go here, and then we got JL. You want to tell us about this? I'm also going to back. I just don't want to do it on. Don't want to do it.
All good, man. 14 hours to go. This is Ennead's 6th campaign. This is really a celebration of wrapping up Volume 1 last year. So you can get a special edition here where you follow along with one of Ennead's main characters, Anatu Kinnisk, who is a jaded soldier who's wandering a foreign land as both an ethereal and geopolitical war about to erupt in the Republic Kingdom of Amashik. And so what you have when you go through this campaign, you've got some cool collector's items for longtime readers of Ennead. I've been going now for 3 years, 2.5 with this project. So I really just wanted to put together a little flag, right, just to stamp where we've been. So in the special edition, you just see through Anatu's eyes for the first time. I typically have 3 to 4 POVs per issue, and in this one, you just focus on him, see his journey, his arc through Volume 1 as he introduces himself to this new world.
This art is gorgeous. Seems to have like a manga influence. Would that be right?
Luke Horsman's style is, I mean, I don't know that he would say that he has a manga influence, but I definitely know what you mean. There's such an emphasis on movement in his work. And I know that's one of the things he talks about a lot. You know, he recognizes he's been doing comics for 20 years. One of the things he talks to me about all the time is whenever I ask or mention anything about detail, he's eyes move across the page. You know, you got 2.5 seconds per panel. Like, his philosophy is rather than waste time on big, super gaudy images, he wants to pull your eye through the page. So I think that's one of the things. It's hard to put your finger on just what Luke is doing, but I really do think that is that distinguishing quality.
I also like the black. I like the black word balloons.
So that was actually something that he did in the first book. Originally, this was a black and white book. The first volume came out in black and white, and then that was when I first released it in color. And he made that choice, and I just rocked with it. I loved it from the beginning, and then laid over the colors. I think it just adds a little something to the world.
All right, absolutely.
It's a dope campaign. I've been following it since the very beginning. JL and I've been doing this for about the same amount of time, I feel like.
Yeah.
I think our first campaigns were up at around the same time, so it's awesome to see where it's gotten to.
Appreciate it.
Let me find these covers and we can get to. I love the color. I said the color, the cover. That's
nice. I only do those 2. I've never. I think the most variants I've ever offered might have been 4 at one point for this campaign. I wanted to keep it pretty streamlined. Again, this is really just a celebration. Nothing really new here for my former readers, other than the collector's items. It was just a way to send the signal out that the year has begun for Any It on Kickstarter.
All right, cool. You just got 2 backers.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. And then a lot of trades on this bitch.
Yeah, this is fun. We put this together. So fun fact, when I wrote Spider Squirrel, actually, first off, I wanted to bring back that superhero, just kind of relaxed, lighthearted comedy drama, buddy cop, nonsense that people I think is forgotten sometimes in the indie space, and that's great. I think there's room for plenty of genres, and hell, I back more non-superhero stuff than superhero stuff, but to that point, like I wrote this as a graphic novel originally, and it was suggested to me to break it up into 3 issues, and so we're finally bringing it all back together, and so all 3 issues of Volume 1 are here. And for those who have been backing for a long time, not only can you get all the books that I've published so far, including Scott Fogg's Night Care and my spinoff from Spider Squirrel, the Milestone book, or God Quest featuring Milestone, but you also get a 10-page epilogue that leads into Volume 2 and a future event that we'll do. We're not going to do yearly events and all that other bull crap for money grabs. We're doing it for fun because it's something fun to do. But anyway, I think people look forward to that. We've got tons of cool swag. That character, the librarian, is being introduced in that 10-page epilogue. She's modeled after my wife that some of you guys got to see earlier today. That's who she was, Stokes. So there you go.
Yeah.
I gotta lift her up a little bit more, but
You said you got a what?
Nothing.
Yo.
These are just random interior pages from across the volume, the entire volume. One of the things that we do, the art style will change because Spider Squirrel actually squirrels through the indie comics verse, and I let other indie creators jump in and write my character in their universe with their art team. And so there's a nice little, it's a simple but fun plot, device of just accidentally warping through, and he's tumbling through the indie comics multiverse. So might be jarring if you just pick it up and thumb through it real quick and go, what the hell's going on? Why does the art change so often? And it's because 4 to 8 pages in the first 2 issues, he's bouncing around. A lot of fun. Had a blast. We don't take anything too seriously, but continuity does matter to me. So you'll find that while the characters don't take squat seriously, I do, and enjoy the hell out of it. And it's really the launching point for everything I'm doing. So like, I'm not going to compare myself to Pat by any stretch of the imagination, but like what Pat's doing with his books, they're all in the same universe, even if they're, separate titles and stand alone without the other volumes. Together, it tells a more complete story.
Absolutely, bro. Happy to see, happy to see all the guys funded except me.
We'll get you there
soon, man.
Nah, yeah, I'm chilling, bro. I'm just trying to get funded before the Super Bowl, bro. I'm not trying to worry about shit that entire weekend. I ain't gonna lie to you.
So I have a question for Pat and Charlie and JL actually. So Pat, you've done multiple volumes. Charlie, I guess you're going to be doing another Spider Squirrel volume after this, starting a new one. And JL, you'll be doing that with Aeneid, right? There'll be another volume. How do you feel about using like continue the number, like number 5 for Alpha, right? It's the beginning of volume 2, or doing like volume 2, number 1? Like what do you think is the right way to do it, or the most optimal way to market, promote, let it, or number your comic?
See, this is a major difference between the direct market in comic shops and Kickstarter. In the direct market, I kind of screwed myself on my Destiny or singles by sticking to the traditional method of keeping the numbering going. Because everyone says they miss a long-running, highly numbered series. The thing is that they don't buy it, However, on Kickstarter, because the pace of it is slower, it becomes more of an event. You see the Boston Metaphysical Society is way up there, Girl Genius way up there. I think that on Kickstarter, because it's more direct creator to reader, that keeping the original numbering is best. Or there's also the Brian Pulido way, which is the exact opposite in an even stricter way. What Brian does is every single issue is a new number one. Every Lady Death issue is like Lady Death, Chaos Reigns #1, Lady Death, Skull Babe #1. You know, every single one. And then he just has a list of the reading orders, so you can go to that. You know, and it's great marketing. But for a series that's going to come back and back and back on Kickstarter, I definitely say keep the numbering going.
Okay, well, how do you guys feel about it, Charlie and JL?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. And Pat's got me thinking, you know, because my original intention is, you know, volume 2 is a new #1. And some of that is a marketing philosophy of, oh, it's a new #1. Oh shit, this is great, you know, and then people jump in because it's #1. You know, that could also, to Pat's point, can bite you, I think. But also, I think having the ability to have these finite, you know, collections really can benefit the smaller market in some ways. Now Pat's got more experience than I do, but I think I think the smaller market can benefit from having those smaller collections because it's a tighter fit. It's easier to catch up or feel like you catch up, even if you really don't. So I think, you know, one of the big problems, like Marvel has it now with the whole legacy numbering bullshit. Like, I'm just pick a fucking numbering system and go and stop with the legacy crap. Either you're a legacy or you're not, right? And I think you kind of got to make a decision. So in some ways it's marketing. In some ways, I think it comes down to the individual creators and what your goals are. For me, I think I'm going to, at this point anyway, I'm going to stick with volume 2, #1, 2, 3, 4, and let it move from there with a few special one shots and stuff in between. Because it does take a long time to get a new book out. And so it's nice to be able to catch new readers' attentions with a #1.
Considering that I'm at book or issue number 7, and the next time I come on Kickstarter, I'll be releasing 8, 9, and 10 as a little mini graphic novel. I'm going to keep the 8, 9, and 10. I never really even considered making it a volume 2, issue 1. And really, you know, Pat touched on this a little bit. The higher that number gets for me as an indie creator who is, you know, like all of us, right, trying to do this from the bottom, I'm proud that I'm in double digits. And even though you do the math and you figure it out, or even though volume 2 is significant, I'm proud of that number 10. So I'm going to keep going. I also see this as one continuous series, one continuous saga. So there would be no storytelling benefit for me to go back to a volume 2, because the events in issue 8 take place directly after the events in issue 7. There is no multiverse, that layer doesn't exist in my world. So never even really considered it until you just asked that. But those are the main reasons why I'm just going to keep the numbers going.
No, Charlie, you muted yourself. Stokes, do you have a feeling about that? I know you have Decay is ending relatively soon.
Yeah, boy. I was a little checked out. When y'all talking about volumes, I had nothing to add, so I checked out. But look, you're smart. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what to do with. Yeah, right. Just do what Pat says. I'm trying to figure out what to do with Alpha 5 because it's. What's up, Charlie?
No, I was just gonna say they both go. I was writing notes because they both brought up great points. Like, you know, the one thing I think that is detrimental to the typical indie is we do only put out a couple of issues, right? So showing that you have a double-digit number, that's pretty badass. That says people don't have to know you've been around a while to know you've been around a while, right? I think that's what Pat and JL were both saying.
Right. So for me, I feel like there's something that seems more like I feel like it's harder to me as a consumer to catch up when it says like volume 2, #1, volume 3. I just feel like I'm so far behind, even if I may not be. Even like something about, even if it's still volume 1 and it's 10 issues, I feel like I'm closer to being caught up than, you know, if it's a 4-issue volume 1 before I get to volume 2, issue 1. And so I also like the continued numbering. But I also like, condensing amounts of story into a certain amount of pages for a volume, and saying like this is this part of the story, this is this chunk. And for Alpha, like there's the first 4 issues, it leads up to this big moment, and then there's the last 4 issues, and there's a huge tonal shift. But I do want people to know, like yeah, we've done this 5 times. We're about to be we've done it 6, 7, 8 times. So it's definitely a difficult decision to make, but it's an interesting conversation, I feel like.
I'm glad you asked it, actually, because I hadn't really given it too much thought. It was just a go with your gut, but that's not always the right answer.
Yeah, I've been seeing a bunch of people do, like I saw that Pocus Hocus campaign, and they're on volume 2, issue 1, and that got me thinking about it, because most people I see on Kickstarter just go, they're continue the numbering, I feel like.
Yeah. Well, I would have told them to not do that as well. But I get it. Sometimes you want a clean break and to start a clear new chapter. But even look at how they had to word it. They had to go like Pocus Hocus volume. They put like Pocus Hocus 1 through 5 volume 2 is something weird. Like it's the way that we kind of market the backlog is, for example, when I do a single issue series, I'll call issue 1. I'll call issue 2 1 and 2. I'll do 3 1 through 3. Like that's like the standard marketing. And the volume 2 thing, it's smart for the DM, and it's worth trying for Kickstarter for sure. But I wouldn't do it.
Okay, we gotta get you guys out of here. So let's hop back into the rating, because I know you guys gotta leave this home point. Okay, we're back. This is the lyricist bracket. I feel like the left side was the influencer bracket, and this is the lyricist bracket. I'm going Pusha T. I mean, I feel bad for Method, but like whatever Method Man did, Pusha T kind of does better. I feel. Hold on, let me finish, please. I feel like Pusha T has a bigger body of work. I feel like they have similar longevity. Again, it's kind of like Method Man's like 90s to like kind of early 2000s. Pusha T's like early 2000s up to now. And for me, it's like I'm gonna take the rapper who is currently who if it's a similar longevity, I'm taking the rapper who is still releasing like high profile projects, Also, Clips is not Wu-Tang Clan, obviously, but he also has like the Clips. It's not a 1-to-1, but he also can work in the group as well. So I'm going Pusha T.
So I'm definitely going Meth, but two things you said that I think hurt your argument a bit. You mentioned Wu-Tang. That was silly. Shouldn't have done that, because I think that yes, they both have.
He's one of 15 people in Wu-Tang though.
Yeah, but he's one of the first names that come out of people's mouths.
Exactly. If you say Wu-Tang members, that's
yeah. Like I mean, so that was one, and then the longevity bit, right? So yes, technically speaking, Pusha T is still releasing things, currently, and the longevity is similar, but you would have to project out. So you said, if you end Meth's kind of lane, right, in the early 2000s, say 03 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're 20 years later. Do you think in 2043 Pusha T still gonna be putting out music? I don't.
But he came out in 2000. Pusha T came out early 2000s. So I'm not. I'm not even projecting forward. I'm projecting forward that he just dropped a high profile album last year, and he's the CEO of Good Music, and I'm assuming he's going to keep releasing good albums. So I think in terms of years, I think their longevity is actually very, very, very similar.
You brought up earlier though the retirement thing, right? And I don't know that Pusha T retired, but I do know that after Clips stopped and didn't make music, he didn't make music for a real long time. That's an extremely argument. I don't know what he was doing. Again, I'm gonna go Meth. I hear you. I understand, because Pusha T, when he puts out a good song, like it's amazing. There certainly is a recency bias, I think, that lingers there. But yeah, I would go Meth. But I hear you. I'm not mad.
I think recency bias makes sense though. Like, let's say that Method Man was like an '80s rapper, like he was '80s to 2000, and then wasn't doing anything. It's like it's just obviously we're looking at it right now, but like, why wouldn't we? Recency bias, I think, would be like, okay, Pusha T has half of the length, and then he had a good album like 5 years ago. It's like he dropped a really well received album like 6 months ago, you know. So it's like I'm gonna project forward with Biggie and Tupac because it's not fair to say they own. Well, Tupac dropped like fucking 10 albums, but we're gonna project forward with Biggie to say he would have dropped more good stuff. I'm just gonna do the same with Pusha T. Why wouldn't I? You know,
because he's not nearly. And again, I won't go the Biggie and Pac route, right? I think that's unfair to both of these dudes. But like, is Pusha T's peak the same as Method Man's?
I would think it's higher, to be honest, or similar. Like,
what do you mean by peak then? Are you talking pure record sales? Or are you talking
popularity? No, I'm talking about just like influence. I'm talking about like being considered the best or being the hottest. And I think you could make that argument for Method Man certainly in the Wu-Tang era, 100%. But I think you make the same argument with Pusha T recently. Now, this is recent. This is recent, but it's not recency bias. Like in 2021 or 2020, I don't know. He got voted like the best rapper by that Daytona album was incredible. Like that year, you could argue he was the best rapper. That it doesn't invalidate Method Man's, right? Like I actually think their peak is relatively similar. If you want to give him the edge because of Wu-Tang, that's fantastic. But I wouldn't be upset. But I do have to keep in context. There was like 20 of those motherfuckers, and those aren't slouches. Like Raycon and Chef was amazing. Ghostface, Riz wasn't a great rapper.
That's exactly why it's so important that
ODB was great.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you just said, that the key thing is, okay, so Method, right, was in with a dozen plus other dudes, right, and yet his is still one of the very, if not the first name that comes out your mouth when you talk Wu-Tang, right? If you start talking about individual creators, so you're talking about a guy who not only participated in one of the most groundbreaking rap groups ever, and one of the longest lasting rap groups ever, he also is the guy who elevated above that. I mean, he just released Meth Lab 3, was that last year or year before?
He's still putting out music. He's still, you know.
If y'all tell me y'all listened to that and y'all liked it, then Pusha T's done. He's cooked. Yeah, that's fine. If that's your argument, I didn't hear any new Method Man albums, but if y'all did, then Pusha T's cooked.
Yeah, Method Man put out like a concept album where there was like a drug bust going on and skits between it. It was good. Here's the thing. If we're gonna count clips, which is Pusha T and his brother as a group, we also have to count Method Man's second group, Meth and Red. I mean,
which is also better.
Blackout album is better than anything that Pusha T has ever done, period. For me, Pusha T had, as you said, Daytona, maybe a perfect EP that was pushed as an album, right? Perhaps to me, the most overrated diss track of all time that year, pushed him to oblivion. But Method Man is, outside of Biggie, he would solo that whole last list. You know, he stands head and shoulders above the rest of Wu-Tang, who are all already great.
I don't know about head and shoulders. Because ODB, I think was phenomenal. That's my personal favorite.
Didn't we vote him off the boat?
I don't think. Did we get the ODB?
No, ODB is on this side.
Okay,
if we're talking about best members of Wu-Tang, me personally, like I think ODB was like the Andre 3000 of like Wu-Tang. Like he wasn't. You needed the Method Mans and the Ghostfaces to kind of anchor everything. But when you heard the you got excited. Like that shit was lit.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Your point stands.
And my son knows ODB too. Like he's 16 years old and he still knows, like I say ODB, he knows exactly who I'm talking about for sure. No argument there.
And so one more thing about Method Man is too, he could be cool, he could be gutter, but he could be silly without it detracting from the other stuff. And that is an excessively rare quality. I can't think of anyone else besides Redman, you know, who tries to do it is Eminem, but he does kind of lean into like the dad joke bars, you know, like I think that's a really exclusively Red and Meth quality, and it's Pusha T. I mean, this is like comparing a nuanced novelist to a crime novelist. Pusha T has one topic. It's a great topic. He's amazing at it. He talks about nothing else, though.
Okay. So I mean, you guys persuade me to be honest. I'm gonna say, and people say I don't listen to my others. So. I'm gonna say Method. Yeah, Method Man. Everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you killed me with the red, and I was hoping nobody would bring that up. But Chief Keef and Prodigy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm voting Chief Keef, and I'm not being ironic. Chief Keef. If we're talking about influence, Chief Keef is like one of the most influential rappers of like the last 15 years. Like he innovated like drill rap, which is now being used in New York. His hook writing is pretty good. He basically innovated like an entire genre of subgenre of rap. Like if we're going peak as well, he's been scorching hot. You know, I don't like it, but I gotta say Chief Keef. Like if we push fucking Cameron to like the third round, we can like,
you're not gonna get any Prodigy arguments from me, so I'm not. This is more of a. I'll resort to you guys on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say left. I'm gonna say Chief Keef. Well,
yeah,
say I look like.
I'll agree there too. And I hate to say it, R.I.P. He has classics, but Prodigy spent a large portion of his career chasing the beat.
Yeah, you sound like me for it.
That's crazy.
Oh fuck! Did New York drill come before Chicago drill? I really don't think so. I'm not gonna lie. Well, let me say this: he brought drill to mainstream. Like that's what I'll say. I don't know what started what first. He brought the mainstream. So, yeah, absolutely. And like he paved the way for like Lil Durk, who I'm not saying Lil Durk would win around, but it would definitely be a conversation to me. Like if Lil Durk is.
And I have been out of the rap scene for quite a while, but I thought Chicago came first in the 2010s, 2010s. Yeah, okay. So I actually think Chicago came before New York, and I'm more of a New York rapper anyway. But
anybody have a problem with Chief Keef based off the parameters that I'm so happy that like not Prodigy, but I'm glad these older rappers are getting kind of not him, but just conceptually.
That's crazy.
Chief Keef. RZA or E40. I'm going E40, bro. RZA's not a good rapper. I'm not gonna lie. He is.
Yeah, E40.
He's kind of.
You talk about voices, right? These are two of the most unique voices in the last. He's kind of biting Elmer Fudd though, ain't he? Well, I'm not even making a claim for which I prefer, but their voices are so synonymous with who they are as rappers. So, while I haven't said yet which I prefer, I do think that has a lot to do with it. And this is, I think, purely preference. I'm not even going to try to get into the weeds, but I'm going to go RZA.
If we bigged up Method Man for being like the most important member of Wu-Tang Clan rapping wise, like we're not here's an interesting question. How much does making beats? I feel like that should be a tiebreaker, right? Yeah. Unless RZA is a really good beat maker, as well. He's really proficient at it, but he's just missing the rapper. Like he's just not a good rapper for me. Like so, this is easy.
Look, as somebody who grew up when Wu-Tang first came out, right? When RZA does solo stuff, I didn't listen to it as much. I mean, I'm just straight honest, right? It was fine because it was RZA. But it wasn't like flipping to Method Man or Redman or right. It was totally not the same thing. So I think where RZA excels is he understands the market. He understands how to get your property out there because he's the one that did the comic books. He's the one that did a lot of that other nuanced little media that kept Wu-Tang relevant, even when they weren't putting albums out that were new. Right. They were putting out remix albums and other stuff. Right. But so RZA, I think gets credit because of, I think for that, I agree, and I love him. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he is as good overall, probably here in this match. But I haven't listened to a whole lot of E40 either because it was a little bit past my time. So I've only caught snippets.
Yeah, I think E40 also has the influence. He, that the West Coast style. I mean, he's kind of like a early like late '90s Chief Keef, to be honest. Just based on the criteria we've been doing, I think he wins. Anybody gonna argue RZA?
One thing I would say about RZA is that he has an egregious speech impediment, and and the fact that he can rap through that is awesome. I think. However, when it comes down to rap, influence on rap, voice, even though I wouldn't listen to a full album because it would sound like I'm stuck in a fucking like bouncy castle, it's E40.
Well said. This is gonna be. Oh, I'm going Young Thug. I'm not gonna lie. I fucking hate. I think Snoop Dogg is such a. This is just a me thing. I think Snoop Dogg is such an overrated rapper, bro. He has no. I'm not gonna hold on. He has one good album, bro. He has one good album. He has some of the worst bars ever. He is not a good rapper. That motherfucker is like he's been like just an entertainer for years. I'll give him the influence, but Young Thug is also super influential too. I think this is an interesting matchup, and I think he's the better rapper. I think Young Thug's just the better talent. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, y'all can. He ain't making it round 3. I'll tell you that. Snoop Dogg is not making it round 3. That's all I'll say.
I mean, all right. So, what I'll say is this: Young Thug to me is in the future conversation where he's someone who I don't like his music, but he is influential and has had an influence on later artists who I think is better. I think that Young Thug shit is absolutely unlistenable. I think he is untalented, and I think that Snoop Dogg has 5 classic albums.
Which 5?
All right. Doggy Style, Dogfather, Pay the Cost to Be the Boss, Last Meal, and what's the one? It's the one with Pimp slapped on it, where the cover art is like black and white. The one right after Last Meal.
I think you're underrating. I think like Young Thug is actually like talented. Like I think that's the thing. I think that's the best thing in his kind of like his clip is that he's super talented. But
is it Ups and Downs? No.
Oh wait, no, I was wrong. Pay the Cost to Be the Boss is that album. The third classic is The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told. His underrated No Limit album.
Okay, listen.
Snoop to me is the best rapper who has no bars.
Oh my. Okay, well, listen.
Here's my thing. Like, let's cover up Young Thug, right? We're not talking about Young Thug, and you made the case, Stokes, that you made against Snoop, and somebody else were right there. I might rock with you because what Pat just said, he is one of the most influential, best rappers who really isn't dropping anything that makes you, whoa. But I mean, but is Young Thug, and this is again like where you talk about when you talk about the influence, right? Like, I really think if you're gonna make the argument that Young Thug is as influential as Snoop ever was, I really think that's recency bias.
It's got to be relative, though. It's like it's not recency bias. It's recent, but it has to be relative. He's been out for 10 years, and you can look at the
10 years of Snoop versus the first 10 years of Young.
That's
Thug.
peak. That's a different argument. That's a different argument. We're talking about influence. Snoop Dogg is going to be inherently more influential because he had more time. I'm talking about relative. He's been out for probably 10 years and has been very influential. You could argue the best rapper right now or hottest rapper right now is like Lil Baby. You can talk about Lil Baby, Gunna. You could say Future and Young Thug kind of influence each other. You see motherfuckers like dressing. Let's say if you got motherfuckers wearing dresses and shit like that. Thug started that. You know what I'm saying? Now, so I obviously Snoop Dogg. Like I said, we have to like you said, it's different eras. But if we're taking the era being 2010s to 2020s, and then 80s to 90s, I do think there's an argument that Young Thug is in a similar conversation as far as influence relative to Snoop Dogg. And if Thug didn't get locked up, here's the tiebreaker for me. If Thug wasn't locked up right now, looking at like 40, then I could use that argument for Pusha T, where it's like, okay, he's going to keep dropping music though, and Snoop Dogg isn't dropping new music like a Method Man. But the Rico makes it hard. So I think JL's going Snoop Dogg. I'm going Young Thug. Pat is going Snoop Dogg. What you say, Charlie?
Oh no, shit! This is gonna be era based for me. So unfortunately, I mean, it had to be Snoop. Yeah,
the old heads win this one. This is an interesting matchup.
It was always Snoop. It wasn't like
I'm the only person arguing Young Thug.
You were arguing by yourself.
You were totally the only one.
We'll move on.
I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm going Jeezy.
I'm
going Jeezy. Black Lex Luthor.
Who is large? I feel bad now. I don't even know who it is.
Nas.
Yeah, Nas.
We can breeze through somebody.
That's easy. Yep.
Havoc, Joy. I'm going
Joey.
Damn, dude, Mobb Deep just got bodied, bro. That is crazy.
They lost to Joey Badass
crazy.
and Keith, didn't they?
This is absolutely crazy.
That's what happens when you come out on the wrong side.
Rick Ross. Oh my god.
That mob ain't that deep. Rick Ross.
I like Daz a lot. I think that Rick Ross is probably the most successful fully corny rapper, but he's
all corn.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going Rick Ross, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yeah.
Sorry, Daz. I don't know the hell Razzcast is. Too short. Too short. All right. Yeah, we can read through some of these.
Big Daddy Kane, BDK. Holy crap! Yeah, I'm going BDK, man.
Yeah, that's probably the oldest rapper who I'm gonna go for. Yeah.
I can't wait till KRS One is clearing.
Oh,
I'm gonna go. This is hard though. I'm gonna go easy, but I want to give Twista credit for being influential, having a pretty decent peak as well.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. Easy was one of the earliest, most distinct voices that stood out. And I mean, you could hear one word and just picture this exact image of him. You know,
ever since it popped up, the voice has been in my head.
Yeah.
I'll be going easy, right?
Yep. I see now.
Sorry, Twista.
Damn.
Oh, be real.
Oh man. Yo.
Is this? Can we slot Royce the 5'9" into this?
This is a mid off right here. I don't even care. Whatever gets this through.
I have a soft spot for Devin the Dude. Devin the Dude had some solid features in like the Chronic 2000 era. But I mean, as far as like his personal body of work, I mean, it's not even a conversation.
Let's be real all the way. Yeah. I mean, really. But it is a mid battle. I mean, be real. He's bilingual. He gets a bonus there. There you keep going.
All right, so we're gonna be real, right? Yeah. Keep in mind, Nas is like on this bracket as well. Warren G or Big L. I don't. This is. I feel like influence. This is a hard one because I feel like Big L has a lot of influence, but I think also Warren G has a lot of influence as well.
Yeah. Again, I'm struggling with era here. It's Warren G for me because I'm more familiar with his body of work, frankly.
I'm gonna go Warren G too because I've never heard of a Big L song.
Pat,
I've heard of freestyle, but I never heard of a song. I never heard a motherfucker like lay down the track or whatever.
Yeah, I go Warren G. This is one of the things where it's pretty much hit maker versus pure non-hit making lyricist. You know.
Okay.
Yeah. In the Go conversation,
for me, it has to be Warren just because his hits are better hits than Big L's lyrical tracks are lyrical tracks.
All right, that's what I'll say. Warren G. We're getting the T.I. L Cool J. Listen. LL Cool J might be the most overrated fucking rapper. Like, the longevity, like, I remember, I mean, he was early 80s, right? He was definitely hot. He definitely had the peak. But motherfuckers is acting like he was around in the 2000s, but he wasn't around. You know what I'm saying? I remember that, like, Headstrong was the only LL Cool J song I can name, like, since I was born. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for me, you know what I'm saying? So I think T.I. wins it. I think T.I. has decent longevity. I think he has a good body to work. He does have the versatility. He could sing, he could do grimy hits, pretty decent lyricist, good voice, good energy. Yeah. I mean, that's
all right. So somebody, again, I'm gonna go back to the age thing, right? You know, yeah. I remember he first came out, but even then, I never felt like he was a pure rapper. He was hip hop. And what I mean by that is that LL Cool J followed the trend. That's the reason he stayed relevant as long as he did, and then he get into acting and he starts just, you know, kind of taking off from there, doing that thing. he was never a great lyricist to me. And I don't think, I love LL Cool J and I listen to so listening wise, it might go LL Cool J, but if I look at overall, I don't know that I can. And really just because it comes down to, I see what he did. It was brilliant. Absolutely freaking brilliant because he followed the trends and he stuck with the trends and he kept himself relevant by following. And that's what I mean by hip hop. But I think from a lyricist perspective, I'd go T.I. I think if I put the two of them in a room to freestyle, it'd be T.I. But I'm with you, Shark God. I love some LL Cool J. I'm having a hard time with this one, frankly.
I can't believe Chris just said that about
myself out of saying LL Cool J is my winner here, but I think just straight lyricist, it's T.I.
Yeah,
I think that this is the best one-to-one comparison so far. It's such a unique thing, but both T.I. and LL had their careers started with them projecting a bit of a harder image that was then retroactively softened by some real corny romantic type music. I think that LL's dip into R&B tracks was a lot cornier than T.I.'s pop exposure. I think that T.I. probably had a longer run, and the fact that he was able to call himself King of the South at a time when Ludacris was around
Jeezy,
the circumference of his peak and be taken seriously, there's something to that. For me, it's T.I.
Outkast and Jeezy were around. Gucci Mane was around as well. So like in that kind of era. So yeah, I definitely think I'm glad LL Cool J is not making it past. I'm so sick because I was like no 80s rapper belongs in the GOAT conversation. Like to me, it's like 3 people, 2 of which have already advanced, but LL Cool J is not. Come on, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that'd be like putting Houdini on here, right? It was cool for the time. It fit the time. It worked well, but it's just not.
If I see Sugar Hill Gang, it's an automatic. I'm clicking that person. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm so sick of this fucking. Nah, bro. It's about the elements. It's about turntables.
The one thing I'll say
down to the park.
You just made the point that LL has no business moving on for whatever reason. Neither does T.I., right? Like, let's be frank. T.I. does not have a real argument either. And so that's all I'm going to say.
I disagree with that. Because he has the peak. I think he has a little bit of everything that we talked about.
When he was calling himself King of the South, you just mentioned all the other people who were relevant. We didn't even mention Weezy at that time, who was floating through his strongest, run. And so, like, just because you say it doesn't mean it's true, right? So, I mean, I don't know that. I know T.I. was relevant. I got a T.I. album somewhere, wherever my old albums are, but I don't know. He just doesn't do it for me.
And I think real quick, when you think about that, Everybody Has Swagger. That was like 2009. That was the hottest rappers. It was Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Kanye West,
and his verse was the worst.
That wasn't the point. I was saying he was hot enough 4 or 5 years.
He was hot enough to be there. He was
like I said, I agree with you. Like he's not. Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
He has a better argument for being the GOAT, in my opinion. But yeah, he's not. Yeah, I think we're going T.I., right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue.
You out. I can't wait to tell my mom that LL Cool J didn't make it.
She gonna take them Super Bowl tickets back here or not?
Fat Joe. I'm going Fat. Dr. Dre's not a rapper. I'm going Fat Joe.
This just feels disrespectful.
But Dr. Dre is not a rapper.
I'm not making an argument. I'm just saying it feels disrespectful.
Oh, I thought you said it was disrespectful.
No, I said it feels disrespectful.
Okay. It's like,
I will say this though: The Chronic is better than anything Fat Joe's ever put out.
For sure, but
So I'm just.
But that was also that's like if I'm using like the Metro Boomin's album and being like, yeah, that was better than Country Grammar by Nelly. Like it's like a posse cut, man. The Chronic. We're talking about the Chronic. Because real quick, RZA was making actual albums. Let's talk about it. RZA was making albums that he was the predominant person on, and other people will come in. Dr. Dre was making singles. It was a compilation album, like a really good compilation album. But Yo, give me your favorite Dr. Dre bar. Like he can't.
Give me your favorite Fat Joe bar.
Lean back.
Right.
Yeah, I was ready for you.
For me, with Dre, the fact that he doesn't write obviously is a bit of a blemish in this argument. But he also, to have all of his music written by who he picked to have write it though, and whose careers he made, and the body of work that he put out, the influence that he had, the longevity. He hits every other element of the
Dr.
conversation.
Dre?
Yeah.
2-album Dr. Dre.
I just NWA like Dr. Dre to the Chronic, to Chronic 2000 Dr. Dre.
That's 2 albums that came out. 3. I'm pretty sure that shit came out.
No, that's also. If you're counting groups with clips, you added a whole decade to Pusha T's career with the
bro. So what are you talking about? Dr. Dre had one song only. They would give him one song. They would give him one song written by Ice Cube to say, "Yo, Dre, this is yours."
No,
Here's the thing. Are we really okay? Are we really okay with putting Fat Joe ahead of Dr. Dre? Or do we really want to be a part of that?
As a rapper,
I want to make it clear for the internet and all time that I am not okay if Fat Joe moves on.
I
don't care what argument you make against Dre in the next round, you can knock him out.
Is Diddy better than Joe Budden? No. Hell no. He's not a rapper.
But I think you just Fat Joe. Yeah, but Joe Budden is light years better than Fat Joe. That's not the same.
If y'all think Fat Joe is food, then that's fine.
Do you honestly think
he is not a producer rapper? He is a producer who raps. He's not Kanye West or RZA or even old boy Havoc from Mobb Deep. He is a producer who raps. And he
100%. Like you said, P. Diddy, right? Is the same. P. Diddy washes Fat Joe.
All right, okay. Okay. All right. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, let's go. I'm going right. What you think,
Chris? Chris, you haven't talked in like 5 minutes. Chris,
I know. Say something, Chris.
I need some levity. What is your answer, Chris?
Man, I feel like Stokes. I feel like Stokes has got an argument. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like. I'm a Fat Joe fan.
This is a mid-off though. Also,
I don't know what to tell you.
I just feel like for pure legacy's sake, again, whatever you do, whatever we decide amongst us 5, I'm not co-signing Fat Joe.
Jail, you were right. As far as legacy, I will give you Dr. Dre. You're right.
Because if it's a mid-off, which we're gonna agree. Lean back was hot. I was doing my thing. I was definitely with it. But like, I don't know. It just.
All right, we're Dr. Dre, right?
Yeah.
You guys have swayed me a lot. I'm not gonna. All right, Lauren.
I was just gonna say, Mr.
Yeah, that's Lauren.
Yeah, we can make up time here.
Yeah,
Lauren, yeah.
I prefer Exhibit.
Where's everybody at? How many brackets we got?
This can't.
Now we miss people. Where's Kendrick? Where's Drake?
There's no Tupac. This is wild.
Where's Kanye?
Oh yeah.
Wait, that's it?
Oh, there's a whole bracket on the other side. Oh,
no, that's it.
That's it.
No, there's some missing from this one.
Oh my goodness.
This is blasphemy.
All right, so we'll make another bracket. Know who y'all think is missing. I'm gonna say J. Cole, Kendrick, Pac, Kanye West, Jay-Z,
Drake,
Rakim, KRS One. All right, I'm gonna go Method Man. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. E40. Oh, this is a fucking mid-off. This is a second round mid-off. Jesus Christ.
It's Snoop for me.
It's Snoop, man. It's Snoop.
Yeah.
It's Nas.
Yeah, it's Nas.
Yeah.
This is about to be Nas and Biggie.
I'm gonna go Rick Ross.
It's Rick Ross.
Rick Ross, yeah.
I'm gonna go Rick Ross. Huh? I like Big Daddy Kane. I ain't gonna lie. That's one of my favorite 80s rappers. I'm going Big Daddy Kane.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like we've already had all the arguments, so this is just easy.
Easy.
It's easy.
My goodness, that's a smoked fest right there.
Yeah.
Warren.
Warren.
Yeah, that's where I was going.
I'm going T.I.
I'm I'm not pushing T.I. any further. Warren G.
Charles like I've had enough of this.
Nope. All right, Lauren.
Right?
I mean, I say Dr. Dre, but you know.
I mean, here's the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think you go
Lauren Hill.
Yeah.
Lauren Hill.
What?
I was ready to have a conversation, but
I'm sorry. Look, listen, I'm really sorry, but like I'm really sorry, but like if NWA and the Fugees to me are like, as far as quality albums, I think they're neck and neck with NWA. Maybe not influence, but that was a great group. And then she's an actual rapper and she's really good. So I just thought like,
well, that's where I was gonna go, and I was gonna say like every argument that you made when it was Dre and Fat Joe 1-to-1, I think I gotta go Dre easily, but you go back and forth there. I think that would have been a tougher conversation. I don't know what got clicked. What did we choose?
No,
we got Lauren.
Oh, we did. Okay.
Method Man or Snoop Dogg? I'm going Method Man.
Meth. Yeah.
I think this is interesting. Nas. I'm going Nas.
Nas.
Easy.
And I'm gonna we'll figure out a way to do it. This is kind of a conversation, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna say Big Daddy Kane because I don't think Eazy-E is like he wasn't like he had personality, he had charisma. He's almost like the Chief Keef of his time. Like he's energy. He's not, the bars were good. They were cartoonish. I never thought I'd say this. Big Daddy Kane is advancing.
Yeah, I think in my high school days, I would have had a hard time picking this one.
I think this goes back to Pat's point earlier. It's like, and again, this is a little bit before my time, but who would you want to be? I know when I'm looking back, I'm leaning.
Well, see, that's why I'd have a hard time because like I wanted to be Big Daddy Kane, and you know, for a lot of like I had him on my mixtapes for romanticizing people. You know, for different things, but Eazy-E was like that's the one I wanted to fight with. So I mean, it was like it depended on what they were playing, right?
What the mood was.
Yeah.
And let's just appreciate how impressive that is, because you wanted to be Eazy-E, who is 5 foot tall.
Right, and I'm 6'3".
You don't think that like people want to be Big Daddy Kane too?
No,
like,
no, for sure.
I do. And
I was saying
Big Daddy Kane, one thing that Big Daddy Kane has on Eazy-E is, as far as influence, to my knowledge, he is one of the first, if not the first, major artists to do a multi-syllabic rhyme scheme, which is major for the 90s into the early 2000s.
Yeah, he was groundbreaking for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's Big Daddy Kane. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Yep.
All right.
No, I'm cool with either one.
Yeah. I'm gonna make a second. It's gonna be like some brick and mortar shit. I'm gonna make a.
Ooh.
I'm going Lauren Hill.
It's Lauren.
Yeah.
I like Lauren.
It could have been Dre and Warren G. Where would you fall there?
So
I would have picked Dre over Warren G.
Yeah, see, that's interesting, isn't it? I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, I'll pick Dre over Lauryn Hill again.
All right, so here's the thing, and here's what I'll say about Nas. I think Nas is the first. This is kind of like Nas is like the first name I would think of when I think of the GOAT. In my opinion, I think you have the longevity. He took in some breaks. His body work isn't perfect for sure. He has the influence. He has the lyricism. He has peak as well. I think what pushes him over is the fact that he's released 3.5 great albums in like the last 2 years.
What's the half?
He did an EP. He did an EP with
you said in the last 3 years?
In the last 3 years.
Oh, I thought you meant period. Okay.
In the last 3 years. And those honestly, those 3 years would be the best of some of these other rappers. And then he still has the back half of his career, some of the middle stuff. So I think whatever you could say about Method Man, it just goes doubly for Nas.
I love Nas. I think that, I mean, Illmatic, it was written, Stillmatic, Godson. GOAT album considerations. I think that overall, when you talk about the GOATs, now, I mean, a lot of the GOATs, I mean, I'd say most of the top 10 for me aren't even in this list.
Right.
We'll fix that.
I'd say that Nas is probably the most overrated of the ones in the conversation for top 10, because he has put out a lot of absolute garbage. I think that Method Man's highs are lower than Nas's highs, but Nas's lows are in hell. Um, for me, for character, lyrics, consistency, and originality, especially originality, it's Meth.
Yeah,
I'm not letting y'all put Method over Nas. Okay,
I'm Nas also.
All right, Charlie, which one are you?
no, I already said Method.
Also, it's up to JL.
Yeah, it's JL. It's on you, man.
Out of all the tiebreakers I would have wanted, I don't want this one. So, like we mentioned, there's a lot of people who aren't already on this list, right? So, like, I feel like that's why we're looking at this.
Yeah.
I think in a more broad list, we don't get to Method Man and Nas, right? And I think if we think about it, and this is not throwing shade, but if we think about it that way, broader list, which one of these guys are you expecting in the Final Four? For me, the answer is Nas. So I gotta go Nas for that alone. And I'm not even gonna make a comment on my preferences. I just think if I'm like you, if you're imagining GOATs, I don't know in a full spectrum list that Meth gets this far.
METHOD, man. Not today. I listen to old music. Yeah, I listen to old music. I'm gonna say I think Lauryn Hill is just so talented. I just think she's incredible. I think she's like the female Andre 2000, who's also missing from this.
Yeah, what happened to the list? They're on the list though. I don't. This for some reason your browser like cut off.
I'm gonna make a physical bracket and we can look at it. I'm gonna see if I can customize it.
Because I got the list up right now on my browser. I have all of them.
Yeah.
Childish game, No, that's childish. That's a childish answer. I'm gonna say Lauryn Hill kind of does everything a GOAT would need.
Just not enough.
But it's not. She doesn't have.
Did it once.
She doesn't. She doesn't have the legacy argument. I think that's one thing. I don't know enough about Big Daddy Kane to say that he has it either. But I wouldn't be mad at Big Daddy Kane.
I would. Oh man, in this conversation, because of the legendary album, I go Lauryn Hill, and I say that knowing that to me she shouldn't even be here anymore. That should have been Dre's spot. It's all good, but Lauryn Hill takes this specific bout to me.
Yeah, it's Lauren.
So okay, so we're going Lauren. I'm very listen. This is very inclusive. You know what I'm saying? We got a lady in the top four.
Nas.
Yeah, all right. So here's what we're gonna do.
This is wild. So like somehow we got to maybe best New York rapper of all time.
Right.
I mean,
so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna see if I can customize this real quick and add the specific people and make a quick bracket real quick.
Yeah.
But some people that are missing: Kendrick, Drake, Jay-Z, Tupac, Eminem, Rakim, Andre 3000. I said Rakim.
Can I make a request?
What?
Since we're doing it this late in the game, can we obviously we got to make sure the list has a certain number of people. Like, are we gonna honor this bracket right here, or can we like everybody go to their corners and we figure this out again? Because I again, like if we're gonna go ahead and add like a Drake to this list, but we do it after we knock a Nas off the list, I feel like that's
I think we should definitely kind of stop here and kind of
yeah. I think we can just add both of these two onto the next list with the people that we don't have and just do like a
championship round.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like I can just like great rapper all time. It looks like I literally just like kind of grab these people. I don't know how to fuck. Oh, Lil Wayne too. Jesus Christ.
On
like
there.
this
I mean, 50 as well is an essential.
Warren G.
Hold on. When are we gonna wrap?
We're sitting here talking about Warren G.
Yeah, we're getting kind of late.
Yeah.
I think we could wrap Stokes, and we'll have a part two at some point.
All right, we'll do a part two.
You got a list of, and we could add a few more. I mean, there were definitely some dames that were missing.
Yeah. I feel like we could
Second
drop
one.
some of like the
Scarface.
obvious old heads and put some, agreed upon super goats into the conversation.
Yeah.
I need Paul Wall on my list.
Paul Wall, Gucci, underrated.
You talk about people who had influence where they had the influence, like in that moment, in their region. This could be real. I mean, we could have a real nice conversation about Biggie and Nas, I think, right? But I don't want to do that if we're gonna have a part 2.
This feels anticlimactic. Can we do Biggie Nas? And then
I feel like both of them deserve to be on the. We could do it, but I feel like both of them deserve to be in the next list.
Just for the sake of
just keep them in the conversation for next time, both, right?
Yeah. I think it's definitely.
Yeah, I like that idea.
It's definitely left on this one.
So here's when we were just talking about Nas, right? Pat said Nas's lows are in hell, right? So I think considering the fact that we know Biggie's career was cut short, I think we got to make a call on whether or not we want to talk top 2 versus top 2, top hits versus top hit. Like we got it just because we're not really knocking them out. So like, what do we want to discuss here real quick? I got a few minutes for this conversation.
Yeah, I think let's just say we take Biggie's career and double it, right? So he gets 2 of it. He gets 2 of everything he does, just projecting forward to make it fair. You're right that Nas's shit was garbage. Like he's had some garbage hits, but like again, I think him like doing this kind of late stage and coming back and having like a stretch that I don't think any other rapper has had. Like I don't think any other rapper has released 3.5 good albums in like 2 or 3 years. Like I know DMX did 2. I think Jay-Z had a run, but he's had like 2 or 3 peaks, which I think needs to be taken into account.
Yeah, but if you're like doubling Biggie's career, then you have to double all of his peaks also and all of his hits, and that just would put him in a. He'd be monument. He'd monstrosity. He'd be insane.
Yeah, I feel like you wouldn't even need to double big for this conversation to be. I mean, for me, pretty quick. I think that the one thing that Nas has is that Nas's catalog is more nuanced. I think that Big has, off Godson. Nas has Dance, which was an immense moment of vulnerability that you rarely see someone of his stature delve into. Big has none of that. Big has bars about assaulting Raven Simone. However, Big shit is it's undeniable. The voice, the flow, it's almost as if he tapped into what we're doing with melody now back then, which is insane. It was 3 decades ago. That's absolutely crazy.
Shout out to Puff.
Yeah.
What about the sus bars though, Pat? Does that drop them?
Immensely sus bars. And the fact that he was able to exist unharmed by a single sus bar is actually to his credit.
I think I over extended myself by saying he gets a double. But I also think we need to keep in mind he only dropped 2 albums and then like kind of a collaboration album. So even like the peak for sure, but like Nas has like just so his body work is not consistent, but it's just a massive body of work. He gets the it's not really fair, but he gets the longevity argument. I feel like he gets the lyricism argument. Now Biggie is a fantastic, like he's really good, and I think that's the thing that makes him stand out. But so is Nas, and Nas's technical rapping ability is evolving. It's evolving with the times. Where you hear a Raekwon the Chef and he sounds like exactly the same, like literally the exactly same. Nas is growing and learning, and he's gonna do more. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not done. It's like, yo, we're getting like a Tom Brady second part, but we don't know when it's gonna fall off.
I think that's really well put. about Nas. The reason why I said, can we just say one thing? When I saw these go head to head, obviously both iconic, both New York rappers. The thing that popped up for me is they're both a part of two of the most iconic beefs that I've seen and been around for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And had you asked me at any time in my life where these two stood, I think I would have chosen their opponents in both instances. So I feel like thinking about continuing this conversation, like I think this is a really good back and forth. I think technically speaking, the way that you broke that down, Stokes, was perfect. Not even going to try to go there.
What part? What part in particular?
The last note you made, like they're both technicians, but the way that Nas has been allowed to evolve kind of just creates, and Pat mentioned it too, just a more nuanced body of work that we never got from Big. So, but when you did get them going head to head with one of the greatest, I think they both, I think they both lost.
I think Nas beat Jay-Z.
Nah, Takeover's better for me too.
Yeah, so like that was what I wanted to get into, and that's why I'm glad they're both going to be here, and that's why it's egregious that this list didn't include Pac and Hov. But this is still fun, gentlemen. So I'm definitely down to do this again.
No, and another point too about we talked about like we didn't get to see Big do his like best maybe. We also didn't get to see him do his worst, and that's the other thing is we already talked about sus bars. Like, was there a low that we didn't know was coming? There's a lot of things to consider, and that's the hard part about talking about Gentleman posthumously, right? Is we don't know, and so it's really hard with a couple of albums. I mean, I think what the hell, at least one magazine called Big, like the best rapper of all time. But again, you already said it, Stokes. It was 2 albums, and it's so fucking hard, right? These two definitely need to move on, and we need to put them up against some other. It might make it a little easier, but them two together, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's hard. That's hard.
I think if you bring, the thing is, you're right. I think Biggie would be doing like Arby's commercials right now if he was like he would not, because he would. I feel like you're right. We don't get to see the lows. You know what I'm saying? That's the best thing about going out on top. And it's unfortunate. I'm not making a joke like a fat joke. I'm just saying we don't. You just see how many artists tail off. You look at Snoop Dogg. Look at fucking Snoop Dogg and tell me.
Yo, Snoop is in my daughter's TV shows, man. Snoop is still relevant. I rock with Snoop. Leave Uncle Snoop alone. Man.
Nobody's saying that he is uber. He started as a gangster rapper, and he's uber commercial. Like
he means rapper wise, just straight rapper, not entertainer, right? That's what you're talking.
He would have been. Yeah, I feel like he would have been. I feel like he would have been. It's so hard to be hot since the '90s, and I feel like Nas was active at the same time Biggie was. Like around the same time.
Yeah, that's
so. Yeah.
It's. Do we believe that Biggie? The question is, do we believe that Biggie would be as good as Nas is right now, arguably doing his best stuff right now? And I would say no. I think that's one of a kind. Like a 30-year.
Puff and Biggie were perfect for each other, right? So and you could argue that Puff still has an ear for hip hop right now. He's playing, like he's still behind the scenes. He's still making moves, I think, and even if not like right now, definitely into the mid 2000s, right? So like, I think he would have been able to help Big evolve and do some of these things. Again, we can't know for sure, but I don't know that he would have had the same tailspin as some of these other folks we've seen. Because I think that rapper producer duo was special.
Who is Diddy? Who is Diddy like kind of discovering as of lately? Like who is he?
No, for sure, nobody. But what I'm saying is, he would have been able to extend Biggie's career though, because he wouldn't have had to be on MTV making the band or whatever he was doing if he still had Biggie. You know what I'm saying? They still would have been doing their thing in that early 2000s era where guys like Nas and Hov had kind of filled the vacuum that Big left open, right? Like they filled it and pushed it into the early 2000s. And I think if Big doesn't leave, he and Puff don't move. They don't just get pushed out the way. I think they still are there. I think a lot of the hits that Nas and Jay-Z made in that same era. I mean, think about Reasonable Doubt the sound, the feel. Like when you put on Reasonable Doubt, if you tell me you don't feel the Ghost of Big, like I don't know, like what
the thing is, I would say
right?
that
Like,
is like Diddy kind of flamed out in the 2000s, and that's half of Nas' career. Like if maybe you give him a couple extra years, that's almost damn near half of Nas' career.
Everybody thought Phil Jackson flamed out, and then he found Kobe, right? So like what I'm saying is like great producers are like great coaches. They need great artists. So did he flame out, or did he just lose one of the greatest of all time?
But like even if we gave him another 20 years, he would still be 10 years short on Nas, who again is having a second or third peak. He is taking, like, if you look at like the hottest rappers, right? It's almost like he's like doing a mixtape. It's almost like that, like like a Gucci Mane or a Future, where it's like, or Thug, where I'm dropping project, but it's critically acclaimed, great albums that have lyrics, like everything we would ever want. And to me, I'm just making an argument.
Yeah. I'm saying when I'm saying four big isn't necessarily not. I don't disagree with what you're saying about Nas at all. I just think that, just to be clear, right? Like I'm not knocking Nas when I say that about Big, but I do think that Big would have had an extended a period at the top for sure.
Definitely didn't even get a skinny era,
Yeah. But to the point though about great producers, right? Like, did Nas ever have, like Hov for a little while had Kanye and then he had his Just Blaze.
He had Rick Rubin, Pharrell.
So Rick, like, I don't know if Nas ever had that. I don't know if
he's got it right now.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's a feather in Nas's cap too, because he stayed relevant without that superstar coach / producer.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, I haven't listened to Nas's King's Disease projects yet, because after Nasir, I felt like I was out. I felt like the era of Nas putting out interesting music was done. But Stokes, if you're saying that it's good, I will give the last three a listen. And I also do want to say, as far as like the beef shit, I think that Ether is obviously a classic track. It has to be top 5 disc record of all time. But when you look at it with distance, just to touch on this, because I don't want to make it seem like I don't like Ether. Ether is great. However, with distance, his points were that Jay-Z is gay, no bitches, and ugly, right? When Jay-Z's point to Nas was, your art was incredible, but now it's not. And that's a much more there's much more to that at that point. And then to Nas's credit, he came through with Stillmatic, which I would argue is possibly in the conversation with being his best now, because obviously Illmatic has it's what you say is the best, but to come back from where he was and produce Stillmatic at that time, absolutely incredible. But still, I would give it to Big. Higher peaks and higher lows than Nas, who again, those lows are they're stinky.
We got to do this again. Here's what I'll say. We all seem to be on Kickstarter all the time. So next time we're all on Kickstarter, let's do this again. Get part 2.
I'm so mad we didn't get to talk Jay-Z. I'm so mad we didn't get to talk Drake.
I know. I'm mad we didn't get to talk Cole and Kendrick, man. I was hoping to get some of these new young guys in here, because they deserve some shine too.
Yep, they do.
Yeah,
but I think we did well that we combed through what we had and got to these two. So I'm proud of us.
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all motherfuckers went Dr. Dre. y'all wanted to be
fucking. You wanted to put Fat Joe over Dr. So
that's crazy.
It doesn't matter. We'd have ended up here anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Stop trying to mitigate.
We're gonna go listen to Nas, and you're gonna go listen to Fat Joe, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna have a conversation.
No, wait, how we get the Nas and Fat Joe?
We haven't listened to the latest Nas, and you obviously never listened to Fat Joe because you wanted to put him over Dr. Dre. So I need you to listen to a Fat Joe album, not Lean Back. I need you to listen to the Fat Joe album.
Dr. Dre had Ice Cube's hand up his ass like a goddamn puppet. You wanna fucking say he's better than somebody?
Fat Joe? Yeah, I want to say he's better than Fat Joe.
That's fine, but you can't get mad at me for saying the guy who writes his rhymes is better. But no, I'm not.
I'm just not allowing the Fat Joe past Dr. Dre.
Don't put the evil on me, bro. These two faced anybody else. This is like the lowest bar ever. Like so bad.
This is fun.
Yeah.
No, this is fantastic, man. Thank you guys so much for popping up. Man, I feel like I'm disappointed, but we get to do a part 2. I got everything written down here. Like I said, we're missing Kendrick, Drake, Jay-Z, Tupac, Eminem, Rakim, Andre 2000, KRS-One, Nas, Biggie, Lil Wayne, 50 Cent. I didn't see Gucci Mane on there.
We didn't get. Did you get Eminem in that? Because we didn't get Eminem.
I did get Eminem. He
deserves to be on there.
Well,
shout out to Baby and Manny Fresh, all the hot boys, Cash Money. But other than Wayne, you don't get a spot.
Yo, I remember one of my favorite memories with my pops was he was talking. He was like, "Yo, this motherfucker was drunk as shit, talking about Chingy was the best rapper alive."
So wait, one parent was LL and the other was Chingy?
No. He was saying like, "Yo, my dad was like, yo, this one motherfucker saying Chingy's the best rapper alive."
Okay.
Like, was he drunk? He's like, that motherfucker had to be drunk.
All right, good. I got real nervous for you.
I'm gonna get drunk and bring up Fat Boys or third base or something, you know.
They'll be kicked the fuck out of here, bro. Get that fucking. I walk to the liquor store. Nah, fucking. The Migos are killing the fucking Sugar Hill gang. I ain't lying to you.
Yeah, easy.
I can't wait to put this on Twitter. All right, guys, thank you so much, Charlie, Pat, JL. This is fun. Chris was here for sure. We'll catch you guys in the next one. In broadcast.